Welcome to today's tutorial, which is all about this beautiful gown with V scrub neckline and collar. If this is what you're interested in learning, please stay back and watch till the end. I promise you, you will learn a lot from this video. So let's dive right into the tutorial so that you will know how to go about it. Okay, so I made use of, we like call it scrap material. It's the remaining material that I had with me. It's just 2 yards. If it's up to 2 yards, I think it's 2 yards. So, and it's by 60. This is a crepe material, light crepe. So this is what I made use of. You fold it with the self edge at the upper part, then make sure you pin it. You know, all this light crepe used to be very slippery and easy to move about, so that is the essence of pinning it, so that while marking on it, it will not move, or while cutting it will not move, it will stay in place. So fold your material. I've gone ahead and folding my material. I've gone ahead to fold it, making sure that I pin the places I'm supposed to pin. Fold your material. Look at the self edge is at the upper part and the down part of the material. So I've folded it, and we are going to start our marking, starting from the neckline. The neckline, I use 3 inches width, 3 inches width. Then for the back, I use the 1.5 inches depth, but I'm going to mark it for front and back. It will not affect anything. After we'll draw the front neckline. I'm doing 3 inches width and then 1.5 inches depth. 1.5 inches depth. Then you curve it to the neckline. Make sure you curve it very well, smoothing it out. While cutting it, it will be very easy for you to do. Okay, now please watch the video carefully. I may not be able to explain everything, but as you're watching it, you will understand it very well. Then you come to the tip. It's assumed that that is the sleeve, where the sleeve will end, because they cut together sleeve. Come there and measure 1.5 inches down for the shoulder slope. 1.5 inches down for the shoulder slope. Then you slant it 1.5 inches down for the shoulder slope, and you slant it to the neckline. Slant it to the neckline. It's a cut together, so we're not going to measure the shoulder. It is assumed that we are taking the whole width of the material as the sleeve length. Then from that 1.5 inch that we dropped the shoulder width, you're going to measure your round sleeve plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Your round sleeve, my round sleeve is 8 inches plus 2 inches. I've gone ahead to mark 10 inches there. So after marking 10 inches, you go the same point you mark 10 inches, you're going to go in by 1.5 inch and slant it to that tip of the sleeve. Go in by 1.5 inch and slant it to the tip of the sleeve. Then after this, we are going to impute the horizontal measurement and vertical measurements. Now I'm going to get the half length or the waistline, which is 17. Gone ahead to mark it 17. Then from there you measure 10 inches for the hip line. 10 inches for the hip line. Then we'll measure the full length of the gown, which is 43 inches. The full length of the gown which is 43 inches. Okay, make sure you pin, then you cut that part. Let's cut that part before we start inputting body measurement and the needed allowances for cutting and sewing. I'm gonna head to cut it, notch the down part, the middle part, so that I will not do mistake while joining it together. Okay, the hip is 46 inches. 46 divided by 2, 23. Then you further divide it by 2, that is dividing 46 by 4. Then you mark it to give us 11 and half. Then you mark it. After marking it, you add your 3 inches sewing allowance. 3 inches sewing, remember, is a free gown, is a bubu gown, is not a fitted gown, so 3 inches sewing allowance is okay for me. Then measure the same thing you have on the hip line and mark it on the down part of the gown. Mark it down. Then you come to the waistline. The waist is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Then you mark 9 inches and add 3 inches sewing allowance. Then you curve from the hip down to the waist, and from the waist down to that sleeve and the armhole. From the waist down to the sleeve and the armhole. Please don't make it square. Make sure that that place is curved. While cutting it, you see it very well. I know that you're not seeing it right now, but you see it very well while cutting it. Make sure it's curved at that part to avoid having bulges under the armhole. Then arrange your material, because we are going to measure the front neckline. Though we are not cutting it now, before we cut, we separate the back from the front. The front neckline, it should be under your under bust. Mine is 14 inches. That is what I'm measuring, 14 inches. You mark it, then you measure half inch. Remember, as you open the cloth, the V scrub neckline is supposed to be 1 inch wide. So because of that 1 inch wide, we'll mark half inch, so that when you open the half inch, it will give you 1 inches. Mark it half inch. Watch the video carefully and closely, you understand what I'm doing. Mark half inch, then use your ruler and connect it to the neckline. From that half inch, connect to the neck line. Okay, I've gone ahead to connect it. Then let's cut the back piece first. Let's do our cutting first. Notch, cut the shoulder slope. We'll do this one before we do the front neckline. Before we cut the front neckline, let's cut all this first. Please make sure you pin. That is what I'm doing. I'm pinning. Okay, then you cut. I look at the curve. I hope you're seeing it now. Curve. Then you cut. Carefully cut out that is what I'm doing. Carefully cutting it out. Then after this, we're going to have a curve at the hem of the gown, and in order to achieve that curve, we're going to measure that down part and then curve it out. I'm going to measure 3 inches, measuring 3 inches from the down part, 3 inches, so as to know where the curve will start from. It's just a little curve, it's not all the deep. Then I had to I'm marking it out so that while cutting it, it will be very easy for me. I've marked it out. Let me trim it off just to have a little curve at the hem of the gown. I'm gonna have to trim it off. This is what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to separate the back from the front. Now first of all, let me unpin so that it will be easy for me to separate the back from the front, so as to cut out the front neckline, because you cannot cut the two together, so you have to separate before cutting. Okay, I've gone ahead to separate them. Then make sure you arrange the front properly. As you're arranging it, make sure you pin it down. If you don't pin it, it may move, so make sure you pin it down. Okay, I've gone ahead to arrange it properly. Remember, we have made our marking already on the material, so make sure that the neckline aligns, the sleeve aligns, the armhole aligns. Make sure everything aligns, even the notched part. Then you pin it down before we start our cutting. Okay, now look at, you cut it from, remember the 1/2 inch mark we made. Yeah, from there you slant your scissors. Remember the mark we made there, cut it straight down to the neckline. Please watch the video carefully, you will understand what I'm doing. Even if you don't understand my explanation, I believe that while watching the video you will understand what I'm doing. Look at the neckline, it's taking shape. It's a V scrub neckline with collar. Okay, now let's measure from that upper part to 4 inches down. That is where our V scrub neckline will start for the front part. Measure 4 inches down. Same thing is applicable to the other side. Measure 4 inches down for the both sides. Then you place them together and make a notch, so that while fixing the collar, it will be very easy for you to identify where it will start from. Okay, I've gone ahead to make the notch. Okay, now measure, look at the 1 inch I told you. It's 1 inch. Then from here to that place we make that notch is 11 inches. But while cutting, the material we're going to use will add at least 2 to 3 inches more. I've gone ahead to cut out the materials needed. I cut them in two. Then I've ironed my hairstay on it. Okay, see, it's 14 inches, but what we had was 11 inches. I added 3 inches extra to be on a safer side. Okay, the inside is 3.5. If you open it, it's 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches. but unfold is 1/1/4. Unfold is 1/1/4. Now we are going to turn it and stitch that place close. See, the second one, you still turn it and stitch this place close. So let me stitch it and come back and show you. I've gone ahead to stitch it. Look at it. I'll trim out the excesses. After trimming them out, I'll turn to the right side. Okay, I'm turning to the right side. Make sure you use your scissors to bring out the pointy side so that that place will look neat and clean. Okay, I've gone ahead to turn the second one. So look at how you're going to place it, starting from that 4 inches notch that we made. Remember, we made the 4 inches notch there. Then you pin, place it, the tip touching that notch, then you pin it down. We're going to sew it down with 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. Either you sew with half an inch, sorry, or 1/4 inch, but make sure you pin it down while sewing so that you will not make mistake. Okay, remember, there is something I remembered I want to tell you. When we made this cutting on the neckline, it's true that we marked 14 inches our bust under bust line, but while cutting it, I cut from 13.5 inches. So now we're going to sew to that point. When we sew to that point, that 13.5 inches, the remaining 1/2 inches, we're going to notch it down, making it that complete 14 inches. Look at it. I've sewn it down. Then I've sewn it down to that 14 inches. Then remember, just watch closely, you understand. Then I'm going to use my scissors and notch it to that 14 inches. Look at it. I'm notching it to that 14 inches. This is the extra 1/2 inch that we not cut. You notch it. The essence of this notching is so that it will relax as you're turning it to the back side. It will have a relaxed effect. Without notching it, it will not relax. Look at how to turn it from front to back. This is how to turn it. They have a relaxed effect. You can use your pins and hold it down. I've gone ahead to turn it from front to back. Let me turn the back and still show you how the back looks like. Look at the front. Okay, see the back. See how it's looking. Look at it. Look at the back. Look at the back, how it's looking. Then you pin it so as to make sure that it aligns. You put them together. Right together. Look at it. Look at that place we lost. Put it together. You can use your pin and hold it down before going to your machine to sew. And it. Carefully arrange. Don't be in a hurry while working on this part. Don't be in a hurry. Carefully arrange it very well so that it will not move. Carefully arrange it so that it will not move. Then you use your pin and hold it down. Hold it down, then you stitch it down so that it will not move. at the front, but I'm yet to stitch it. Let me go and stitch it and come back and show you. I've gone ahead to stitch it down. Look at how neat it's looking. Then you can trim out the excesses. I'm gone ahead to trim out the excess. Let's turn over to the right side so that you see how it's looking. Okay, look at it. Can remove the pin. Now we're going to work on the collar with the back, but before you work on the collar, we're going to sew the back and the front shoulder line together. Okay, let me bring the back where we'll sew them together. Join the back by the shoulder. You can pin and sew down with 1/2 inch. The shoulder, pin and sew down with 1/2 inch before we work on the collar. Okay, I'll sew and come back and show you. I've gone ahead to sew it down. Now from that notch 4 inches part, you measure your neck round to the other notched 4 inches part. Measure it round. Carefully measure it round. Okay, what I have is 15.5. 15.5 inches. But while cutting it, please don't cut exactly 15.5, because all this material, it can easily expand and you will be short of material. So either add at least 2 to 3 inches sewing allowance to it. Look at my own. I've gone ahead to cut an iron hairstay to it, and what we have was 15 inches, 15.5, and I cut 18.5, making it 3 inches allowance that I added to it, and the width is 3.5. If you open it, is one quarter. Okay, then the other part, you put it together and stitch it down with 1/4 inch or half an inch, and turn it over to the right side. Turn it over to the right side. Cut out the excess so that place will not be bulky, so that you have a neat and a smooth part there. Okay, I've gone ahead to turn it. Okay, then you bring your material. Let me show you how to place it. Remember, the other parts we did not sew it close. When we get to that end, I will show you how to go about it. And place it exactly on that 4 inches notch and pin it down. You can pin all of them down to the other side and sew it straight down using 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. Sew it down to the other side, but don't close it up. Stop somewhere so that I'll show you how to close it up. Let's go to the machine. Okay, I've gone ahead to sew it down. Let me show you. I've sew it down. Look at where I stopped, because this place is in excess. Remember, we added excess so as to be on the safe side. Look at it. Now, either you make a mark with your chalk or you notch it with your chalk. You make a mark, but if it's not visible enough for you, or if you cannot work with the mark because you're going to turn and sew from the wrong side, you can as well pinch it together and use your scissors and notch it. Okay, so that while sewing it, it will be very easy for you to know where to sew, because you're going to turn to the wrong side. Don't cut from there, no, cut from here, then you sew from our part, much part. Okay, then turn it to the wrong side, merge them together, sew on that notch part and cut out the excesses. Let me go and sew it and come back and show you. Go ahead to sew it, and I've trimmed the excess part. I'm turning to the right side. After turning it, I'm going to place it on that part. Okay, look at it, it's aligned. Then you stitch it down to that part. So then let me come back and show you how it looks. Gonna ahead to stitch it down. Look at it, this is how it's looking from the other part to this part. It's looking very beautiful. Let's turn it to the right side. Let me show you. This tutorial is all about this neckline, and it's beautiful. Okay, as I finish working on it, you can go ahead and serge the edges round, as in weave the edges round. After weaving it, you shift it to the side, and make a stitch on it, top stitch on it. Weave the edges round because the material frays before making a top stitch on it, and shift it to the side of the material, then make a top stitch on it. This neckline is very beautiful and giving. Okay, this is the part that is very interesting in this video, and we have gone ahead to perfect it. Now let's work on the sleeve part. Though the sleeve is not much, is the neckline that is the most necessary part of this video, and we have gone ahead to achieve that. Okay, I've gone ahead to cut the material for the sleeve, and I've notched the middle. I cut in excess, ironed my hairstay on it to give it firmness. Then you place on top. Make sure you cut after measuring the sleeve. Make sure you cut in excess. Let me show you. I've measured my sleeve, and I think I got 19.5, and I measured the material I had was in excess 22 inches. Yes, 19.5. So I cut out my material in excess, so that after sewing it down, we will go ahead and trim out the excesses. 22 inches, yes. So you pin it down, make sure that the center aligns, pin it down. Please watch the video carefully and closely, you understand what I'm doing. And if you've not liked this video, please like. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe. My returning subscribers, thank you very much. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help your girl to grow, and I will not fail to appreciate all your efforts. Thank you, my returning subscribers. Thank you, my new subscribers. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Please, if you have any question to ask me, you can ask under the comment section, and I will not fail to answer you. Okay, I'm gonna head to sew the sleeve down. When you finish, you can weave the edges, push it to the side of the material, and make a top stitch on it. Now cut out the excesses. Cutting out the excesses. Okay. After cutting it out, you put the material together, and the sides together. Now from the sleeve, put them together and stitch it down. Stitch it down, then you hem the bottom part, and our gown is ready. stitch it down. Yes, I have the down pattern. Our gown is ready. Look at it. I've gone ahead to stitch it down. Remember this armhole side, this arm, underarm, please notch to have a relaxed effect before weaving. Notch it so that when wearing it, that place will not be bulky. Please notch, please notch, please notch. Notch the two sides under the sleeve. Notch so that you have a relaxed effect there. Okay, please like, share and comment if you find this video helpful. I appreciate you all for watching to this extent. You people are the real MVPs. I love you all and I appreciate all you do for your girl. Thank you and God bless you. Look at the finished look of our gown. This gown is beautiful. Look at the neckline. I'm just using a remaining, let me not call it scrap material. There's a remaining material that I had. I never thought that I'll use it. I just used it for the purpose of this video because I needed something urgent to wear to to church for choir. We are wearing white gown. That is how I brought it out. But you can work on this with any material of your choice and it will come out very, very beautiful. You can use flowered crepe. You can use dolces. You can use any material of your choice. You can use silk and it will come out very, very beautiful. Look at it. I'm gonna have to add buttons. Add buttons to it. Just stuck it there so that it will look neat and fine. This is beautiful. Let me show you how it looks on my mannequin. I show you this gown is beautiful. It's really giving. I love it and I know that you will love it. After making it, you will love it. It's beautiful. It's giving. Okay, and it's very, very easy to make. Oh, very easy to make. Doesn't take time and it's very beautiful. Remember I made this with 2 yards, so, and I'm on the bigger size. Okay, look at the back view, my mannequin, the front view. Look at the gown, look at the neckline. Is this gown not beautiful? Just say the truth, is beautiful and it's giving. Thank you for watching to this